Morning. Bill Hurtado with Transwest Truck Trailer RV, Frederick, Colorado. Today it's my privilege to show you one of our latest acquisitions. This is a 2021 Jayco Greyhawk Model 30Z. This is a very popular floor plan with a lot of people, and this is a great opportunity for somebody to get into the Class C that they've always wanted. Virtually new, still has plenty of chassis warranty and drivetrain warranty left on it at a fraction of the price of new. So let me point out a few key features on this. I know the Jaycos fairly well. I've been dealing with them for many years now. But let's point out some of the things that Jayco has done to this particular Greyhawk right here that I think you'll find interesting. I'm going to work my way around and just point out a few things. First is very important. The front overhang on this now has gone to a full one-piece fiberglass. You notice there's no seams, no moldings. That has really contributed to no leaks on their units. It's a really wonderful system right there. Working our way back, this does have the side camera package built into the mirrors down here. And this is the perfect wide angle lens, so you'll have no blind spots anywhere on either side. But be you're changing lanes, going into a gas station, you want to miss that yellow pole right there. Those are actuated from the turn signals right there. So even though it may look funny when you're pulling into the gas station, you have your turn signal going, there's a method to your madness, and you know what you're doing. Greyhawk also gives you the one-piece wheel surround and step going in on each side right here. They did a nice job of putting a nice wide non-skid on there, so easy entry, very safe. Working our way back here, it's got a big beautiful awning, so it makes a fantastic patio out here, very large. The overall length on this 30Z is 32 foot 6 inches, tip to tip. That's about the largest I think you're gonna find anywhere on a Class C. And they did a great job of maximizing the space inside this thing, which we're gonna go over in a minute. This is a Jayco exclusive. This is a big deal, the JRide Plus. So what I wanna point out to you is Jayco retrofits the bare chassis when they get it from Ford, and they do 5 major upgrades on this. See if I can remember all 5 now. It already comes standard with a heavy-duty front sway bar, but they add a heavy-duty rear sway bar on this. They also upgrade the shocks on this. They pull the factory Ford stock shocks off of there, and they put the Coney FSD shocks on. So that makes for an extremely stable ride, and it holds up really well in the wind because of that. The other thing they've done, and I haven't seen other manufacturers do this, but they remove the drive lines and they computer balance those. Then they go back in. So we don't have a vibration problem at 57 miles per hour like a lot of them. And now you're fighting with, you know, Ford or whomever trying to get that vibration out of there. This is already done for you ahead of time. They're all about ride stability and comfort. And what's that, 3? Let's go, let's move on. The other thing they've done is they've added Hellwig overload springs on this. So that's given you an incredible carrying capacity on this unit. Those are progressive springs, so they become effective as you get up close to your maximum amount of weight you can put inside here. So you're not going to have this thing drooping down to the ground, causing your headlights to aim up into the sky, changing the dynamics of the way you drive. It's a great addition right there. The 5th thing that Jayco does is between the floor and the frame. Before they set the house down on here, they have these large, I call rubber pucks. There's a name for them, I can't remember. Isolation something, isolation bumpers, I think is what they call it. Those are great because what they do is they eliminate any vibration coming from the road, be it, you know, you're on a rough patch of highway, or you've got those lines going across, gadunk, 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 you know, that eliminates a huge portion of that. So it's quiet, it's smooth, it's safe, and it handles well. 5 things Jayco does. Some manufacturers do 2 things, some do 1 thing. Jayco does all 5. That's why I make a big deal out of that. It's a great upfit for this chassis. All right, moving along. Another nice thing I like that Jayco has done here is this particular awning has the light bar built in at this end over here. So your light's coming back to the coach this way. Some people will argue that, well, you know, that's no good because then I can't have the awning light on when the awning's in. Well, Jayco made up for it by adding their own porch light out here. So this actually has both. It's the best of both worlds. All right, you may notice this has the high gloss exterior finish on it. This gel coat exterior here is fantastic because 20 years from now, it's still going to be bright and shiny. It's very UV resistant, and I've seen some of these that are very, very old and they still look fantastic. So good on you, Jayco. That's a nice thing to put on your unit right there. There's a little bit of exterior storage out here. These are just some small compartments on the sides. And FYI, most of you know this, but just in case, I wanted to point out, whenever there's not a lock on a compartment door, then you know that's where the propane is, right there. Anybody has to be able to run up and turn the propane off in case of an emergency. So, now you know. Okay, so we're gonna move along here. I've got outdoor speakers. They're spread far apart. So that makes a really nice sound area out here on the patio. You do have a switch inside that you can disable the exterior speakers. So you can have it playing indoors, outdoors, or both at the same time. Your choice. Now the 30Z, because of its exclusive floor plan, this is all about storage, inside and out. And as you can see, this has a wonderful full pass-through storage across the back. There's 3 ways into this. So be it long items that you want to store in there, no problem on this one. You've got it covered. All right. So let's see. There's some other things I like Jayco's done. They've gone to a new style of taillights on here, the LEDs. This is all LED lighting inside and out, by the way. These are really wonderful because they cut through fog like nobody's business. And the life expectancy is 50,000 hours per bulb. So probably going to outlive most of us. All right. Another thing I like that Jayco's done is they've moved the backup camera down low. It's down here at eye level for me instead of being way up at the top. When it's way up at the top, it's so far away down to the ground. This is much closer, and it's also a wide angle lens, so you can see back behind you quite a ways. So the couple good advantages here are going to be keeping an eye on whatever you're towing, but even more importantly, it's hitching up to whatever you're towing. Being down here, you've got a real close view of the ball mount and the coupler on the trailer that you're pulling. So you never have to turn your head. You just back right up to it and stop right there. Set your trailer down, you're ready to go. Speaking of towing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the chassis when we move up towards the front, but unlike previous years in large motorhomes like this, you would max out at a 4,000 or 5,000 pound tow rating. Because of the dynamics of this chassis right here, you have 7,500 pounds of tow capacity. That's big. That's a huge plus. Having the 7-way and 4-way plug on there, there's no additional wiring you're going to have to do to set up for towing whatever you want. You can always adapt down from a 7-way to any other plug very easily. All right. So kind of simple out here. We do have hot and cold running water outside, and we do have the black tank flush. The black tank flush, FYI, again, and many of you know this, when you're hooked up with your sewer hose out here, today's sewer hoses now, they have a short section of clear on there. I know it sounds disgusting, but there's a reason for that. When you're dumping your tank, not only can you see when it's done moving the contents out, but when you hook up to your black tank flush, now you can wait for that water that's been spraying inside the tank to come through clear. You know you're completely sanitized and cleaned out in that black tank. So big plus right there. Small item, big benefit. Okay. Obviously, we just mentioned we've got the holding tank down here. This is where you're going to hook up at a campground to dump or be it on the road. I hate stating the obvious over and over again, but maybe some of you aren't familiar with RVs. And let me make it simple for you. Manufacturers intend for you to back this in or maybe pull straight through in a campground. And when you do that, all of your hookups are right over here. So there's going to be your water, your sewer, your electric, and cable TV. Most campgrounds have all 4 of those elements right there. So manufacturers build all of those hookups right over here. So very easy and, you know, nice to set up that way. All right. This does have the stainless steel wheel liners on it. Those are really fantastic too, because they're going to stay bright and shiny like that for years and years to come. Never going to rust on you. Looking down this side over here, you can see we've got a couple more small compartments. So that's 4 of those small compartments and 1 mega storage in the back. So lots of outside storage on this. It's a great floor plan to accommodate all this outside storage. In this small compartment right here is where your electric will drop down through the bottom, and that'll hook up over at the campground over there. Your cable TV hookup, like I mentioned, is over here. And then you've also got an auxiliary output of AC power on an outlet on this side. So AC outside on both sides, 30 amp cord drops down and goes out. Very nice, nice setup. Okay, another feature component on this unit is going to be the frameless windows. So these frameless windows have the darkest tint allowed in the industry. That cuts down a lot of heat on the inside of the unit right there. But what's even better is you've got the hinge on the top of these, so they tilt out from the top. So these can be open in a rainy situation, not get any water inside the unit. And I think by far the best feature of a frameless window is you have no exposed rubber anywhere on this thing. We all know what happens to that rubber when the sun hits it for a few years. It'll shrink up in the corners, it'll crack, it'll dry out. Not going to happen on this one. All right. The Greyhawk also comes with the chrome mirrors. That's a bit of an upgrade when you move up to the Greyhawk right there. It does have the 4,000 generator, Awning generator on there. And you probably didn't notice when we first started out, because I had the awning out, but there's 2 air conditioners up on the top of this thing. Well, veteran RVers are probably going to say, wait a minute, 30 amp service, 4,000 watt generator, you can't run 2 air conditioners. Doesn't make any sense. Well, Jayco figured out how you can do it. And it's brilliant. I love this. So instead of having a single 15,000 BTU air conditioner centralized in the unit right here, which is trying to feed both ends, Jayco has put on, this is an option too, Jayco has put on 2 11,000 BTUs on this unit. Now, Those two 11,000 BTUs go through a electronic system that allows them to alternate compressors. So you're never going to have maximum draw with both running at the same time. They alternate back and forth. Mathematically speaking, you're now 22,000 BTUs of cooling comfort versus 15. Doesn't matter if you're plugged into 30 amp service or running your generator. You can always run both air conditioners. Good on you, Jayco. Nice move. So I told you I was going to talk a little bit about the chassis. This is a 21 model. 21 models across the board on Class C's are the first year that they've come out with this Goliath engine. This, instead of the older, what we saw since 1997 was the V10, 6.8 liter V10. Now it is a 7.3 liter V8. The horsepower has come from 305 up to 350, and now there's 468 pound-feet of torque on this. Excellent. It really moves this thing nice. You've all seen those V10s heading up the mountains. I know you guys are looking at this nationwide, but we have mountains close to us right here on a 6% grade. And these poor V10s were heading up there 35 miles an hour and just making everybody mad and having to go around. This thing scoots up the hill really nice, 60 miles an hour up that 6% grade. So another nice plus. You want the new engine, trust me on that. All right, I think we may be ready to move inside. One last thing, this does have the full fiberglass roof on it. That is commensurate with all luxury Class C's. When they get up to a particular level, their higher end stuff is going to have the fiberglass roof on it. So you've got it right here. Okay, I'm going to move all the way back to the back and kind of move forward and talk about a couple of things in here. So there are two slide outs on this 30Z. The first slide out here goes directly out the back. A lot of you have seen many units that have a rear slide, but in order to use the bed, or rather bring the slide in all the way, the bed has to be folded in half. Not on this one. Because of the space I have right here, this comes directly in, right up to the wall. So the reason that's a big plus is because now you can still use the bed when you're traveling down the road. The non-driver at that point or anybody else can use the bed and take a nap while you're cruising. This particular one also has the optional bedroom TV already installed in there. Okay, and huge window in the bedroom right there. Nice little nightstand that goes full length across the wall. No underbed storage on this because of the way it's built with that rear slide. They made up for it by giving you that huge full pass-through storage outside underneath. So you've got a couple of shirt closets, you got a main closet, and you've got 4 drawers in the bedroom here for clothing. So another nice setup. All right. So you have your power control system right here. This thing right here is basically going to tell you, you know, what's running at the time, your water heater, your refrigerator, your AC, what amp draw is right now. So you can kind of keep track of what your electrical demands are at the time. Let's see, light switches, medicine cabinet. Yep, nice, plenty of room in there. If it were me, I might put another shelf in. Okay, so right here, what Jayco has done is they've utilized this space really nice. This can be for large items, or another rail can be put in for hanging some shirts if you want to. But this is great pantry storage close to the galley over here. You can use it linen closet and pantry, or vice versa, or both, or neither. Storage is good. I've been harping on that a little bit about storage, storage, storage. That's what the 30Z is all about. Let's take a peek at the bath in here. All right, so midship bath, easily accessible from front or rear. Nice big rectangular shower. You've got heat and air conditioning inside here, and then you have another closet rod that's removable if you need more hanging storage. Or maybe you plan on taking this thing up snowmobiling in the wintertime. Well, this is a 4-season unit. It's meant to be used out in extreme cold weather like that. You come back in. I know I've done this plenty of times. You've got that wet suit on, or maybe your ski clothing. Now you can take and hang that up and let it drip into the shower over here. So, another good setup. Nice solid doors. Okay, so this 30Z, it's a great setup floor plan wise. You do have 3 beds, and you've got, this is optional to have either a sofa, or this option is the theater seating. The theater seating does have recliners built in. You've got remember the frameless windows right behind you, easy to open right there. Plenty of storage for, say, your remotes. And all of this is directly across from your huge television and fireplace. This coach is wired up already for Wi-Fi accessibility, depending on which system you want to add to it. Okay, so we've got our, standard refrigerator. Nothing special right here. It's same as many of them. But in the Greyhawk here, they put the raised wood panels in here to match everything else. So that's really sharp looking. Now you may take a look at that galley and think, boy, that's pretty small. I don't know if I could feed 20 people out of this kitchen. Well, let me tell you, this is kind of a deceiving look over here. For one thing, you do have both microwave and oven in this. But you've also got 6 drawers inside the kitchen area right here. Jayco uses this thing called a drying rack. I don't know why I make a big deal of it. I just think it's so cool. All right, so you have a huge compartment up here. And then also around the corner behind us when we come in the door, there's another huge compartment for the galley. So really the storage is a lot better than at what you would think of at first by seeing that. This also has the pop-up power center over here. So you've got your 2.1 USBs you can charge anything up to tablets on, and more AC outlets. So very nice there. Okay, standard dinette, but you'll notice this has a very wide table. And that's something that people have been asking for quite a while. They don't have quite the space. If it's only this big, that makes a huge difference right there. The other thing is many units don't have seat belts at both ends. Typically, a standard dinette like this will always have them on the forward-facing seats, but this has it at both, forward and rear. So you can seat belt 6 comfortably in here. All right. So up here, couple of things. This bunk has been lowered down a little bit right here, and the floor has been raised up. So this is unusual to find it at this level right here. This is very easy entry. Also, this will flip up out of your way for easy access into the cab area. And then the ladder will attach right here. Another nice thing on this chassis now, not in previous years, but the seats do swing around and face this direction. So, seating wise, we've got 2, let's just call it 2 and 2. We can seat belt 6, and we can comfortably seat 6 during the day. That's a pretty wide dinette, so 4 people can use that, but not necessarily something you want to do just sitting around. Maybe when you're eating, that makes good sense. When those seats flip around this way, because there is such a drop right here, you don't want your feet straight out in front of you right there. So they give you these booster seats to stick on there. So now it's going to feel more like a regular chair. This big cushion right here fills in the section where the dinette turns into a bed. So this would go on top of the table if you choose to turn that into a bed. All right, so let me think here. Have I missed anything? I think that pretty well covers the house portion. No, it doesn't. I forgot one important thing. Standard on this unit is the electronic leveling jacks. So this has the automatic system. You basically just turn that on, hit your auto level, it does everything for you. If you choose to manually do this, that might be something you would want to do if you're at a dump station and you want to raise up the passenger side so you get full drainage out of those tanks when you're dumping. So very nice. I remember my first unit with the leveling jacks, and I thought, what have I been doing all these years? I need these things. They're great to have. Okay, so we talked a little bit about tow capacity. We talked about the extra horsepower on this thing. This also has the remote heated mirrors, and it also has the Bluetooth audio built in, your phone connectivity. You'll see that microphone right next to the steering wheel there. And then more USB points up front, ports rather. And then something that people take for granted, and you always want to look when you're purchasing an RV, can you have the backup camera on full time when you're traveling down the road? A lot of them you can't. It only comes on when you go in reverse. This does have the rear camera button on it, so you can just use that full time. Keep an eye on what's back there. Obviously your rear view mirror is not going to give you a whole lot to see except for what's going on inside the house right here. So another nice plus. All right, I think I've given you a pretty good idea what this thing's all about. Overall, my opinion of this is really high. Some of the things that I would want in my Class C is this lighting underneath here. This accent lighting is really nice at night, gives you a little bit of glow on the floor down there. It's not going to interfere with the driver when you're traveling down the road. You've also got it on the overhead up here behind the slide, which you can see. So having those accent lights on when you're traveling down the road is priceless. I mean, it looks so fantastic in here. So please consider this as a good option for you. I would love to speak to you about this, let you know what we can do for you. I've got some special pricing on this that's below book value right now. Probably not supposed to say that, but please call me so we can talk about this. This is something that would work absolutely perfect for you. People love the idea of buying a unit that's a year old. Somebody else has done two things. They've taken care of all the piddly things that go wrong, and they've also, working out the bugs, but then they've also spent that depreciation for you already. So good opportunity for you to get into this thing. You still have the remainder of the 336 chassis warranty and the 5-year, 50,000 mile drivetrain warranty. This thing was put into service March of 22. So you can kind of figure it out from there. It's only got 11,000 miles on it, so there's a lot of chassis warranty left on this thing. Please give me a call. Let's talk about this. Once again, Transwest Truck Trailer RV. We're in Frederick, Colorado. My name is Bill Hurtado, If you're lucky enough to catch me at my desk, you can call directly to my office phone, but my cell is obviously a better way to get a hold of me. That number is 714-809-4813. Texting is great. I love that. I'll answer you or get back to you right away. I promise you that. Email. I check it 47 times a day, and it comes to my phone too. So that's another good resource for you. bill.hurtado@transwest.com. Very simple. And most of all, thank you for taking the time to hear me out. I know I've been rambling quite a bit, but you got some questions, so call me up. Let's talk. Thanks.